do a quick video on checking the valve clearances on the Xj900. Not sure if the clearances are the same as the 650 and 750. I'm pretty sure they are. I can almost guarantee it. And here's the millimeters. 0.11 to 0.15. It's about 4 to 6 thou for the intake and 6 to 8 thou for the exhaust. And what I've done here is I've drawn up a diagram, exhaust, intake, just the way it sits on the engine, just like that on the bike. I actually could put an arrow right like this here. That's the front of the bike. And the cylinders 1 to 4, I'm going to mark them down with the R, what my clearances are. And then when I take the bike apart, the top end off, if I have to change one, I can change one. Okay, I'm going to start pulling the valve cover off and checking those. Oh, excuse me. It's 30 degrees Celsius out here today. It's unbelievable. I bought this tool probably 1985, 84. Snap-on, 10 millimeter on one side, 11 on the other, ratcheting in. And this is why I bought it. For just for taking valve covers off. So many of them are 10 millimeter, and then when you're getting into, some of them are really tight, like the my Yamaha Venture. That's all you can get in there. So these ones I could get a short little ratchet on, but these wrenches are the handiest. So I ordered a whole new top end valve cover, well, top end engine gasket kit, and it comes with new rubbers. Although these rubbers look in pretty good shape. Like, these are good. Usually they're torn or cracked or old, and somebody's replaced these. I find with all these Yamahas, the old Xs1100, the 650, 750s, XJs, this one here, the Yamaha Ventures, once the valves are set, after they're broken in, like after, I don't know, whenever you bring it in, for after 5 to 10,000 kilometers, and you set the valves, they never change. They're good. I think I made the tool. I think I made the tool for the Yamaha and Hondas. I have to dig it out. I won't need it though. You got to be really careful when checking and when you're rolling the engine over that you don't let the momentum of the engine keep going forward and snap the lip off your cylinder. Saw that happen once and it wasn't me. It wasn't me. It's another mechanic I worked with. I think he just forgot that he left it in there, then he rolled the engine over and broke the corner off. Was able to repair it. Thought I could hear a little hollow sound. I got new valve cover gaskets. They were so cheap, I bought 2 of them. I think they were less than $10 each. Just looking for any sort of wear on the cams. I should get my light. The cam's looking, from the ones that I can see, they just look like brand new. Absolutely no wear at all. Should be a way to tighten this. Oh, 1 second. This is why this is so loose. Let's go around the merry-go-round. Huh. There we go. Oh my God, that's been loose for a long time. Okay, I gotta take this cover off again here to turn the engine over. Okay, I just put the bike in top gear. I got the plugs and everything out, so it's gonna turn over easy. And I got my feeler gauges, 4 to 8 thou, but I also got a 9 thou and a 3 thou. In case I get a tight one, I can check it. I got a whole new set coming in of the long ones, and they should be in by Friday, but we'll check these now. I'm just gonna start looking for lobes pointing up, and then you can go by the timing marks and do them both at the same time, but I'm gonna show you a more accurate way how to do it. And because even if your lobes are both pointing right up and you got it on top dead center, that's not necessarily the lowest point of your cam, because they're not perfectly machined and timed and linked to the chains. You'll often find a lower spot just off of that. So that's what we're going to start with. Here's the intake one here. So we know it's 4. I'll put 4 thou in there first. And that fits in pretty good right now. But I'm going to turn this lobe back this way a little bit. See if I can find a looser point to it. Right here. Okay, get that lobe going backwards. Okay, that fits in there pretty easy. Let me try a 6 thou. So I like to have these laying out loose, so I'm not doing this, but okay. So far 6 isn't going to fit in there, but let's go back a little more. Like this should just go forward, I guess. Let's go right around. Check this exhaust one while I'm here. 6 thou goes in there like nothing. Wow, that's like nothing. Let me check that exhaust while I'm here. You can go across the whole thing, but I'm just going to focus on these two right now. 6.4. Where's my 8 thou? I got a 9 thou. There's 9 thou right there. No, that's not going. There's 8. There's 7. So 7 fits there. Let me go back to this one now to see if I can get a 5 in there. Oop. Let me rock it a little bit more. So I think this one's a true 4 thou. Just double check it again, which is perfect. I'd love to take these off, but it's riveted onto this one. Some of them you can unthread. You can unthread them, and a lot easier to work with. What do we got here? I think I got a 4 here too, maybe. 9, that's a, there's my 6 thou. And that's a 3. Okay, here's 4 thou again. And that fits under there right now, but I'm gonna go back. You don't want to roll it back too far with the going the wrong way. I'm going forward. Yeah, that's 4 thou. That's 4 thou all day long. And that one, I think it's a 7 or 8. I could get a 7 in there. I'm going to see if I can get an 8 in there. Right there. Let me try the 7 again. Yeah, there's 7. I can keep the 7 in there and just turn it until it gets really loose, and then I might get an 8 in there, but no, that's just a true 7. That's it. 4 thou, 7 thou. Perfect. Exhaust is decimal 007, decimal 004. Both of them are shy of the 2 loose points, so it's perfect. The second cylinder is the one I had the low compression on, and I got a feeling it may be because the valves are kind of corroded all up, probably, you know, from being left open for 3 or 4 years, 5 years, who knows. So let me start with this intake one. Okay. Well, let me find a 4 thou. I don't know if you can see there or not how I'm doing it. Just slides under the lobe, and then I'm going to roll it, the wheel a little bit as I do it. I can't even get a 4 thou in there. I'm going to go to 3. I can't even get a 3 in there. Go to 2. I think I got a long tooth though. Got a short one. Okay, I can get a tooth thou in there. I'm going to turn it to see if I can find it, make it looser. Just put a little pressure on it. Gotta watch, these are so thin that they'll break off on you in there. Okay, that's a little bit looser right there. Try 3 thou there. What's my 3 thou one? I can't get 3 thou in there. So that one's too tight. That's 2 thou. 2 thou fits in there. Okay, let's go to, I'm gonna write that down. So that's too tight. So now, here's 6 thou. It fits through like nothing. Here's 7 thou. That's a snug fit. Still 7 thou. It's getting tighter. The loosest spot. Let's see if an 8 will go in there. I'm sure an 8 won't, but try it. Come on, there's 8 there. Pretty sure 8 won't even go near that, no. That's 7 thou. Can't get an 8 in there. So this is the one here we're gonna have to look at so far. Up here, lock that like that. Should be able to see better here. Okay, let's start with this one. It's already pointing up. Cylinder number 3. Can't wait to get that new set. You know, I don't have to do this all the time, fish through it. Okay. There's 4 thou. I can get a 4 thou in there. Rock it back a little bit. That's a snug 4. There's no way I'm going to get a 5 in there, I can tell. That's 4 thou. That's perfect. Let me do this one. That's 4 thou. It's a little bit looser. Might get a 5 in there. If I could find it. Right there's a 5. Yeah, I can get a 5 in there. It's tight. It's barely a 5 thou. It's like 4 3/4. Sometimes I write that down in there. Tight 5, loose 4. Okay. So this one is 0.004. This one's 0.005. That's a little on the tight side. 2 more. Do these 2. There's a 6 thou. Six is in there. It's snug. I rock in the cam, and if this gets really loose all of a sudden, then I go for the 7 thou. It's a tight, it's a snug 6. I know 7's not going to fit. It's getting tight now. We'll go back. Right there's about the loosest spot. I'll try a 7, but I know it's really tight there. So that's perfect, 6 thou. Yeah, I'm not getting that in there. So that one's perfect, 6 thou. Let's go to the next one. Six thou's in there. See if a 7 will go. I can get it in there, so it's a tight 7. Juke, COVID-19. So that's, I can get a 7 or 6, 7 thou. Decimal 006, decimal 007. Just going to put a little negative beside the 7 and the 5. So I got 1 valve to check into there. Okay. Where's the bolts? Yeah, the bolts are on this side here. Okay, so I'm going to take the rest of the car boots off first. I'm not sure if this is the size. No. Okay, we get the car boots off. Took the intake boots off, get them out of the way. You don't have to pull the top end off. I got new ones coming, so one of them broke off in here, so I'm going to have to drill that out. And what I normally do now, I'm going to undo this, the cam chain sprockets on here, but I'm going to loosen the tension off first. Normally I'd pull the tensioner right out, but with this housing in the way here from the stator, I believe that's the stator on that side. They've made the Xj900 the engine narrower by putting the stator up here. Now, okay, I'm going to try to get these two Allen heads off right here. If they're not too tight, I should be able to get it on a bit of an angle with my wrench. Okay, let me work on that. Okay, I'm able to get the two Allen heads out with a wrench. Almost got it out. Okay, that should be loose. There we go. So that's under spring tension. So that just pops right out. There's your tensioner. And it's got a little, this self-tensions by itself, it's got little barbs on here, so as it doesn't come back in. As it gets worn and slides out farther and farther, it locks. I scraped myself there. Okay, so now there's 4 bolts holding these sprockets on up here, and really hard to get at with these caps in the way here. So I'm going to just take off these 2 caps and keep all the other ones nice and tight so that I can get at those 4 bolts. I'm not going to mark this chain and sprockets. There's marks already all on it. I'll reset the timing when I'm done. Oh my God, that one's in there really good. Don't want to break any of them off. Let me get my ratchet on there. I always use a 6-point. It's a 6-point bolt, use a 6-point socket. Less chance of stripping them. Okay, so I'm going to lay, these things all got to be laid out. I think they're numbered. They've got arrows pointing this direction on them. And I believe they're numbered too. Yeah, let me see here. Well, these are the end ones, so you can tell that. This one's got intake 4. And I believe that's an E4. E4. Intake 4, exhaust 4. And these ones are different anyways because they got the bolts on them, so they're not numbered. So it's pretty foolproof, can't really screw up. Okay. I'm going to get my bench set up to lay this all out on. Just going to start laying them out like that. Put the cams in here. First I'll loosen off these. Just crack them first. Where's my ratchet? Or my socket there. maybe I'll Loctite it in there. Oh. Just gonna crack them. I think that changes jump. We did that one in. Let me take that one out. No, I can leave it in there. Just in case this one was hard to break loose, it's good to have that one in there. I don't want to turn it anymore in case the valves are sticking down, because the cam chain's jumping now on me. So now I'm going to release the tension on all of the caps, and I just do that a little bit at a time. Okay, release cam. Thanks. I'll let you go. There's a little directional arrow right there, and that points from left to right. This one says exhaust 1, E1. If you can see it right there or not. E1. This one's got the arrow pointing this way. I guess these four center ones are identical, because that's, yeah, this one's pointing this way too. Let me take that one off. Okay, here's the center slipper. Still some meat left on it. There's no big deep grooves into this one, a little bit. Cam lobes look good, really good. It's just the bearing, this bearing here, you can see where it's picked up a little bit. I can't feel it, but you can see it. It's picked up a bit of dirt or burr. Let me try to polish that off a little bit. It's in good shape. Might not have even had to taken these bolts out. Some of them you gotta. I don't think I had on this one. Okay, that goes that way. Oh. Okay. These all have dowels in them that either stay in here or stay in the head. You don't want to drop one of them or lose them in the engine. Before you take this camshaft out, you tie a piece of wire on this cam chain. Dropped it in there one time. It was a lot of fishing to get it out, the magnet. Then you can tie it off anywhere. Around here, I guess. For now. I'm going to Loctite those back in. Red Loctite. Same thing, a bit of scoring on the main bearings on here. This one's got a groove in it. I'm going to polish that up really good though. That's too bad. The cam lobes themselves are like brand new. They're beautiful. Okay, so that was that bearing race right there. Must have picked up a little piece of metal or something. We'll polish it up. Okay. One thing I want to check right off the bat is that shim number right there. And this is how you would do it if the cam was still in there. This is a tool I made 35 years ago, 40 years ago. You even just a flat screwdriver will pop this thing out. But this tool here, put the thing in. This tool here, you push it. It's nice and smooth, so you won't hurt the cam. But you slide this under the shoot, I keep holding it in the wrong spot. You slide this under the cam, and it pushes the bucket down. And then I've got another tool that sits on the side here and holds it down. Then you can pop these out. Let me see which one we need here so I can order it or start looking around. Not many people have these shims anymore. There we go. And these shims are numbered and you can measure them. So many thou. If the number's not worn off. There's the number there, 290, Y290, Yamaha 290. And the factory ones will come in partials. You can get a 292, 293, but the ones you order online are like by fives. And I think it's like decimal zero, well it's 5.05 millimeters, decimal 0.5 millimeters, yeah. So it's like 2.5 thou each one. Get the head bolts off. Holy mother, I'm gonna get my 1/2-inch drive. I'm not gonna kill myself. So we're going to put all new valve seals on here. Clean the valves up. Decarbon them. See if I can press more. These will that was here, and I think you're going like that. Oh, here's here. See, look. These are here. Those are here. Okay, I'll get those all out, get the head ready. We got 1, 2, those are 8 of them. There's 4 across the back here. Cylinder head bolts. And then there's 2 under the oil cooler lines there. They look like Allen head ones. We get these all done. Okay, there's 1 bolt holding the oil line on the clamp. Allen head bolt, this one here. It's an oil line clamp, you got to undo that. And then there's 2 more 10mm nuts. And one on either side here. It has to come out. And then we should be ready to give her a whack with the hammer. To me, this was always the best part of the video, but it would be for me, but the best part of tearing down an engine is taking it apart, seeing what's inside, seeing if there's any damage, carbon buildup, scoring, why that cylinder is lower than the other ones. To me, this is the best part. I like taking stuff apart. I'm gonna hit it right on the intake manifold. And I don't know if I can get out the exhaust. I'll hit it on the other side. The head bolt washers. Just the head bolt washers here. Oh, she's still under pretty good. Yeah, there is a pry spot right there. Right in here. I can see some of the studs are so corroded. But there is a pry spot, right? If you have to pry a little bit, right in here. It's a solid chunk of steel here and right under the intake manifold. Good place to pry, right under there and under there. It's coming. So I found if you just pry it under that pry point right there, you can't hurt nothing there. And then give it a hit here on the top. That's a solid piece there. I broke it free. I got that wire on there. Just gonna let it fall down in the center. The gaskets, I'm hung up on the gasket now. Right there. Hung up on that side too. Oh, let's slip her. The tensioner. Over there. Let's see if that tensioner comes out. Get that tensioner out of the way. Okay, may as well have a look when I'm here. Let's get the light. I'm going to decarbon the pistons. You probably can't see. Let's see here. I notice in this cylinder here, there's a bit of a rust line where that thing was sitting, but not much. Black carbon around the top here. I'm going to decarbon all that. And that looks like it was burning oil. Could be the valve seals. Oh yeah, I can't turn that over with this in there. this slipper will be, well, look at that. This slipper might be broken. If I was more familiar with it, I would know. May not though, that may be the way it works. Because that's where that spring pushes against that. We'll find out when I take it apart, take this off. So there's little O-rings here. Look at the studs, they're so rusty right in here. That's why it was stuck on there. Really rusty. Well, I'd be taking this all off too. I just want to have a look at cylinder number 2. There's no scoring in any of them, so just going to clean them all up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down these shim numbers in case that one falls out of there, because I'm going to wash this all off, paint it, and if I get the shims mixed up, I won't know where they went. So I'm going to pop them out, write them all down. Get these washers out of here before I lose them. So this bike's an 83, so 47 years old. Those valve seals are. And I think that's what's going to be gone on it. Okay, one more left in here. Can't get that one's baked in there. Okay, let me write down all these numbers in the book. All the exhaust ones are almost identical. 280, 3 of them are 285 and one's a 280. This is a 280 as well. Another 280. Yeah, 280. So all the intakes are 280, except for the one that's out, which was a 290, and we need to go to a 295. No, we need to go, this valve was tight, we need to go smaller. We need to go to a 285. A 285. I need a 285. Okay, put that back in there. Let's see what the valves look like. Everything's pretty oily, rich, burning oil or something, you know. I'll be able to tell when I look at those pistons, but I'm hoping it's just going to be the valve seals, but it might need rings. We'll measure it all. We'll clean that all up. This exhaust valve on number 2, the one that's giving me problems. See, it's a different color than the other ones. These are just black carbon, black carbon, black carbon. And this one is like a little bit lighter. Oh, this intake valve is rusty too. But I got a feeling this valve's leaking. That's causing my problem. Low compression. Yeah, I may as well pop the valves out too. There's one nut. This one here, it takes a 12 millimeter wrench that holds the barrels to the case at the front of the engine. Right down here. That's the only thing that I can see holding it. Oh, it's a double nut though. There's one more nut on there. One nut's to hold the oil cooler bracket on, and the other one holding the cylinder. This one wasn't very tight. Okay, this comes loose. I'm going to probably sandblast these, bead blast them, and repaint them. These might steel. I remember that. Other parts of steel. I remember that. Maybe. These guys are easier if the bike was on the ground. Oh, it's all corroded in there. I gotta get some rags in there right away because it's so corroded there. Well, really kind of touch in. Not sure what that is. Plastic something. Well, see what this says. These studs are so rusty. I'm gonna have to clean them up as best I can. I doubt you can buy those anywhere. I'll look on the internet, but I doubt. But look at the, see the corrosion all sitting down in here, Like, I'm gonna try to blow off as much as I can, but guaranteed crap's gonna go in the engine. I left the engine oil in there so that any dust and dirt goes in the engine oil. When I drain it, hopefully it'll suck it right out, and then I'll have to flush it out. But yeah, I might even try to blow that off with my air compressor just to get most of that shit out of there right now. There. Okay, so this exhaust valve, here's how I'm gonna do it. We're gonna shove some rags over the valve, like that. So the rags are pushing that valve up. And then we're gonna pop that out. Grab a socket. I got a valve spring compressor, but I just want to check this one quickly. One's out. Come on. Kind of on the wrong side of the horse. Okay. So this is number 2 exhaust. I can measure all the springs too. It's just very burnt and carboned up. So I'll clean that all up and see what we got there. Pretty sure these, all the valves, everything are the same as the 650, 750. Okay, that's it for today. I'm gonna pop the rest of the valves up, clean them up, have a look at the valve seals. Are right there. Let me see if I can pop one of them out. They're a steel reinforced one. Here's the 2 I was looking for. Sort of straighten it out a little bit. I bent it. Yeah, the rubber is getting, it's not brittle, but it's getting pretty hard. We got new ones coming. Okay. There. That's it for today. Parts will be in a couple days. So I got to get everything cleaned up, painted. I'm going to pull the pistons off, clean them all up. I'll measure the pistons and the rings, the ring end gaps. Because he's burning a lot of oil. I'm thinking it's valve seal. I've never seen this bike run, so I don't know if it's smoking or not, but just by all the black soot on it. Could be the guy ran it with a choke on too, because the carb jets were plugged up solid. Anyways, I'm gonna clean those up, get it ready.